What we're going to be doing today is looking at a teenager's TikTok that generated him over £2,000 in commission. The TikTok in question is less than 30 seconds long and it got over 3 million views, which is insane, especially when you actually watch the video and you see how simple it was what he did. So we're going to be breaking the video down. We're going to be talking about the things that he did well, and I'm going to be explaining how you guys can do the exact same. Now, before we do get into it, if you guys are not familiar with what TikTok Shop is yet, I would really encourage you to get onto TikTok and to start scrolling until you see it so that you can quickly understand it and jump on this train before you miss it. This is without a doubt one of the easiest ways to earn money that I've seen probably since I very first started looking at ways to make money in online in like 2016. So I'll just show you my screen now. So I'm on the creator in questions profile now. And if we go onto one of his videos, you tap it, you can see just above his username, it says buy ACV gummies here. So what he's doing in this video is he's promoting this product that I do actually have and which are bloody lovely, I must say, even though you're only meant to have 2 a day. I'm trying desperately not to have more than that. But what you do is you click it, tap the button if you like what he's saying, or if you're interested in buying it, and it works just like Amazon, right? You purchase it from in the app and it gets shipped straight to yours. And what's really clever is this whole experience is so seamless. You can just be chilling out, scrolling, watching funny videos, educational videos, whatever. You see this and you're like, oh, that looks interesting. You press buy now and you don't even need to leave the app. And the thing that is making this the money making opportunity of the decade is that anybody can start earning from this. So this is a product being sold on TikTok Shop. But if you look at the bottom, you can see it says earn £1 on each product sold, £10 commission. So all I have to do, I've got the product in hand, is press create shoppable video, add to showcase at the bottom, which I've already done. And literally I can start earning money if I can get viewers on my video and get people to click and buy. And that is what this creator here has done. So before we kind of, run through everything, let's just have a look at the actual stats of the video itself. So this is a website called Kalo Data, and I literally just search for the user and it just gives you all of the information. Now, just understand that everything you see here is an estimate, right? TikTok doesn't actually publish specific figures. It will give you like guidance. It will say, yes, this video performed in the top 10%, 20%, whatever. And it does that by a grade. So A plus A and so on. And then it will tell you how many units have been sold in total, but it won't tell you how many units have been sold by the individual creator. So these are estimates. Apart from this, obviously the views and the new followers, I would guess that it can probably work that out accurately. But in any case, these figures here are based on estimates that they calculate with the algorithm. But luckily for you guys, we don't need to rely entirely on estimates, because I spoke with the creator and he really kindly told me how much he'd earned and he'd sent me the stats, so we can look at it together and basically assess how well the video performed and how well it could have performed if he maybe made subtle changes. But in any case, right, he's a teenager, he's on his holidays at the moment, like school, university, whatever, and he's done 3.2 million views plus off a single video. And we're going to talk about his strategy to really milk the cow on that in a bit. But first, should we just watch the video? So let's play it. It's only 30 seconds. And then we'll break it down bit by bit.
You're not fat, your body's just bloated. Your body isn't digesting your food properly, so you probably have face acne and chubby cheeks. You're tired a lot even though you're sleeping and taking a lot of naps. And you're constantly craving sweets and junk food all the time. This is how you can fix it. This helps make your digestion quicker and easier. All you do is 2 gummies a day. They taste really nice, by the way. You get solutions to all those problems conveniently on TikTok Shop right here for a crazy price, and you don't have to go to Holland Barrett or something to get it. Yeah, get it now before they're gone.
Okay, so as you can see, it is a super short and simple piece of content. And once you kind of break it down, it's not really that surprising why it performed so well. So if you kind of put yourself in the position of any TikTok user, whether you are one or not, you need to understand that what they're doing is just scrolling until something kind of grabs their attention enough to stop them from scrolling, right? And there's different things that can do that. It can be what they see on the video. So if it's something that looks a little bit unusual or intriguing, then they'll stop. It can be something that they hear, or it can be a piece of text, right? And what this creator here has done is this video is just a simple talking head video, right? Which you see all the time. But he's got straight away on the screen in red, you're not ugly, you're just missing this product in your life, right? And this is basically what is known as like a visual or a text hook. So somebody scrolling will see that. And maybe if they did kind of think of themselves as ugly or not, it's intriguing, isn't it? They're probably like, oh, I wonder what this product is. So that's what kind of gets them to stop scrolling endlessly and listen. And then if you actually listen to the very first thing that he says, he actually changes it. He doesn't say ugly. He says, you're not fat. So again, it's kind of playing on people's insecurity, I suppose. But what he does is he says something intriguing. He says, you're not fat, your body's just bloated. Now, that is another hook because it's going to raise questions with the person that's listening to it. And just to really hammer home that this person may well be ugly and may well be fat, what he's done is added subtitles in the middle. So he's kind of combined numerous hooks all in one to make somebody stop scrolling. The only other thing that I think that he could have been able to do is just have like an actual visual hook that wasn't in the form of text. So with him, so maybe if he was, I don't know, looked a little bit different to all the other talking heads, whether it be a fancy dress or in a weird outdoor scenario or something. But having said that, one good thing that I suppose he is doing throughout is he's got lots of quick jump cuts and he's moving about. It's not static. He's not just kind of like, you're fat, you're not fat, you're just bloated, right? It's very chop and changey. So that's just something that makes it even more engaging, which I really like. And if you kind of, go through the rest of this short, he's very quick to continue listing off various problems or symptoms that people may well be experiencing that makes the content kind of resonate with them. And what he's saying is just super, super broad, right? If you kind of look at the actual content of what he's saying, that probably applies to a large proportion of the population in terms of like insecurities or worries that they have, right? So let's just reel through those. So first of all, he says you're not fat, your body's just bloated. So some people might be like, oh, I thought I was fat, but I'm not. And then he says your body isn't digesting your food properly. So you probably have face acne or chubby cheeks. That may well apply to a lot of people, not me, but maybe the younger generation. And then he says you're tired a lot, even though you're sleeping. Again, that probably applies to anybody that has like a 9-to-5 job, right? I've got a little boy that's 9 months. I'm always knackered. So if I see this and I wasn't aware of what he's doing, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's kind of starting to appeal to me now. And then he's still hammering it home. He goes, you crave sweets and junk food. Who doesn't crave sweets and junk food? I actually said at the start of this that I've been eating this because it's really nice and it's sweet, right? If you've got a sweet tooth or you like junk food like pizza, burger, whatever, this is going to be applying to you. So he's being super clever here in the form of making sure that the funnel of people that this is going to appeal to is as big as possible, right? So he's got the kind of majority of people on TikTok going, hang on, that might actually appeal to me. I wonder what this product is, right? It's compelling and it's intriguing. Now, if we just go back to the video, whilst he's kind of all saying this is something else that I really like that is super, super subtle. And I don't actually know if he did this on purpose, but he's, as I say, he's constantly moving. And then like here, he's talking and he's just throwing up a ball in the air. So with people on TikTok, especially, people say that it gives you brain rot, right? Because the people that are scrolling are just kind of like mindless. They, kind of have, I don't know, self-diagnosed OCD because they need to be entertained constantly. They don't just want somebody just talking at them, which is why when you are on platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and so on, with the short form content, sometimes you'll see like a video game in the bottom half, which has got fast paced moving action. And then in the top half, you'll see just somebody talking, and that's to help ensure that the people watching don't get bored and their OCD can like focus on something moving. So this is what this creator is doing. You know, he's got lots of kind of visual stimulation, he's moving about and so on. So that's what I really liked about that. Very quick to chop and change. But as you kind of go through the script, what else he's doing is very clever, and that is answering loads of questions that the person watching probably hadn't even thought of yet, but they most certainly would have had they went on to add the product to their cart and considered purchasing. So let's have a look. So first of all, he says all you need to take is 2 gummies a day. So that's that solved. So people are like, okay, so you get 60 in a jar, so that's a month's worth. I actually think it's quite good that he didn't say that's a month's worth, because now that I say it like that, it actually sounds like it's quite expensive. So it's £10 for a month's worth of this, right? Whereas other supplements, ones that I've been involved in anyway, have been more like 10 quid for a year. So that's something else that he did. The next thing, very quickly, that he says is he goes, "It's really nice, by the way." So, you know, the clue in the name of apple cider vinegar, it sounds vile, doesn't it? And you can actually get this in liquid form in like Aldi or wherever, and it tastes vile. People say to mix it in your drink, but he's answering it here. So then he kind of finishes by saying you've got the solutions to all your problems, and conveniently it's on TikTok right here, so you don't have to go to Holland and Barrett. So he's kind of, you know, again, making people think, oh, that's so convenient, and I'm just going to go and get it. And then he's got his call to action, which I do think probably could have been improved, because he just kind of says, yeah, get it now before they're gone. So to somebody that hasn't used TikTok Shop before, which, you know, could be a lot of you guys watching this now, that might be something that people don't really know about. And also, he doesn't actually mention the price, which at the time of when he was filming was £10 for 2 jars. It was like a special deal. So he probably could have leveraged on that even more so, and maybe added like a visual call to action to be like, you know, click here to buy now, and I'll demonstrate that on the screen now. But, you know, ignoring all of that, this thing obviously performed really, really well. And the final thing that I liked about this content is it did actually feel really genuine, and not like properly being forced down my throat and like an ad, right? People hate, especially British people, hate being advertised to. So if you did start to this video and being like, buy this because it's does this, this, and that, I don't think it would have performed anywhere near as well. But instead, what he did is he started with problems and symptoms that people were having, which kind of made them think, oh shit, maybe I do have, you know, maybe I do have a problem, and maybe this is something that can solve that. So that is honestly the best way to sell things on TikTok, rather than just straight going away for the product or the service that you have. You want to make people aware of the problems that they're facing, the symptoms that they're experiencing, and then kind of explain why they're facing those and what the solution is. So you can actually see the some of the stats that the creator sent over to me, and literally just in the last 7 days, he has generated the company £5,200. So with a 10% commission rate, that's about 520 quid. And that was from a video that he posted nearly 2.5 weeks ago now, where, you know, I mean, you guys know, well, you might not know, but TikTok kind of pushes content immediately out to its viewers. And then as time goes on, the number of views that it gets will typically drop like after a couple of weeks or so. So the fact on this is awesome. And he did tell me separately that he'd made from this video alone £1,800. So these are, you know, some really interesting stats. Like he got a bunch of new followers in the last 7 days from it, which is interesting. Maybe people are just looking to learn how to do TikTok Shop. But this is the stuff that I like to see. So the click-through rate, so the number of people that saw this content and then press that shop button, right? That 2% in from what I've seen is about, you know, it's actually a little bit on the lower side. And the reason that that has happened, that it's on the lower side from what I've seen anyway, is because this kid's views are so high. Like the bigger your pool of people, typically the lower the stats will be, right? So 2%, to be honest, for however many people it was, so 600,000 viewers is about right. And funnily enough, when you go on TikTok to look at these stats, they don't actually show you like the actual percentage. It just gives you a grade. It rated this as C, but from what I've seen from my videos and other people I've spoken to, that is okay. So the click-through rate is basically heavily influenced by your call to action. If somebody doesn't know that you're selling a product, which is obvious here, or they don't know how to buy that product, then the click-through rate is going to suffer, right? And I think this is what this creator could have done a little bit better, had like a little call to action and said, press the button now, grab them before they've gone, kind of created a bit of urgency and for somebody to actually go on. And then the next statistic is the CTOR. So that's click through to order rate. So how many people actually that then click through then went on to make a purchase. So this 1.92, it's not, to be honest, it's not something that is in a lot of the creators' control. Of course, you can do things like say what the price is and say the postage and all that. But ultimately, if somebody clicks through to the product and the price has changed or the listing doesn't look great with the pictures and so on, they're going to be put off buying. So I would worry less about this CTOR and more about the CTR, giving people a reason to buy, a reason to click, and so on. And then the CTOR, of course, you can influence that by educating the customer on what the product is and so on. But a lot of that is also going to be down to the brand themselves. And then if you look here on this analysis, so this is the retention graph. So how many people were still watching at 10 seconds? That's a really important period when it comes to whether TikTok determines your video as being engaging or not, and whether it wants to push it out. Now, 14% at the 10-second mark is actually really low for content where you're not promoting a product, right? But as I just said, Brits hate being advertised to. In fact, I think a lot of people do, which is why more authentic content does a lot better. So when we're kind of looking at TikTok shoppable retention graphs, you have to kind of look on like from a different perspective, right? So 14% isn't too bad. If we to look at the 10-second mark, let's see at what point that actually is. So what's interesting is that at the 10-second mark, he's not actually revealed the product yet. He's still talking about the symptoms, which is probably why the kind of retention hadn't just absolutely dropped off a cliff. But to be honest, that 14% is still a little bit lower than what I would expect for a video where it's not obvious that a product is being promoted. So versus the ones that I've done anyway. But having said that, it probably did feel like a bit of an advert by the point that he was on his fifth or sixth reason. But it doesn't really matter because that 14% is still pretty good for a video promoting a product on TikTok Shop. Now, when it comes to how many views and how far your video is pushed, when it comes to shoppable content, TikTok doesn't just take into account, how much engagement you get, like views, likes, shares. Of course, that's going to be really important in helping TikTok to understand, whether people actually like your content. But what is also super duper important and what plays a big part is purchases, right? Conversions. So the deal that the creator here was actually promoting, even though he didn't say the price, was pretty good, and they've actually stopped it now. It was $9.99 for 2 bottles, and if you go to Amazon, it would have been $8.99 just for one. So I think, because of the fact that people saw that, it would have been like boosted and spread even further. So kind of getting, a nice halo effect from the fact that this brand had just happened to be running one of these special little deals. Now, let me just walk you through the final little genius piece of art that this creator did. And this is something that absolutely everybody should be doing whenever they experience success on TikTok Shop. And that is milking the bloody cow, right? So if you have a product video that absolutely freaking pops and you're getting lots of views and lots of purchases, then the one thing that you don't do is just leave the product and move on to something else. You want to do another one. You want to try something different. So try a different hook. you want to try different, like different angles to see if you can go even further. Now, the fact that this video did 3.2 million kind of, suggests that maybe the hook and the way that he did things was pretty top tier, especially for the UK market. But if this had been his first video here, for example, 500,000 views, then for sure I would have been doing a completely different hook or whatever. But if you have a look through his TikTok profile, you can see one video here on the same product, 500,000 views, and all he did was reply to a comment that somebody had made on this first one. Super easy. And this is, it's a top tip of mine. It's very intriguing for people that come across that, because they're like, oh, hang on, is there a bit of drama, a bit of tea being spilt here? What's going on? Like, especially British people, we're all nosy bastards, aren't we? So we see that and we're like, oh, hang on, what's this? And then before you know it, you've watched 10 seconds, the algorithm's got you, you're being shown the product and you're in. So super clever to do that and pick like one of the more controversial comments. And what else have we got? So there's another one here, 17,000. It's the exact same. I did like this hook as well, actually. I thought, I do think, considering his young age, he's got a decent sense of humor. So he basically says, look, guys, I lied to you about the product. The taste isn't good. And then ... It's great. And then kind of, booms into how awesome it is. And again, he's got people past that 10-second mark where they're engaged, they're learning about the product, and the algorithm starts to push it. So another one there. He's got one here. Like I think, and one here as well. So, on a cumulative basis, he's got, nearly 4 million views promoting this product. And I didn't actually ask him how much he'd earned in total, but I'd be extremely surprised if it wasn't 2.5 grand in commissions. And he's going to be continuing to earn that as well. Like, these views will continue to go up and make sales. So did a really good job there. Now, before I kind of, close the video, one thing I did just want to say is TikTok Shop for sure is definitely an awesome opportunity, but, it can feel a little bit like buying a lottery ticket. You kind of put all your effort into a video and you upload it, and then it's kind of like, right, just wait and see, and let's, see if we get any sales, see if we get any views. This kid here, he knows what he's doing, right? 3.2 million views, 500,000 and so on. But look at these other ones, 200, 276, 349, 389. He's been trying a while, right? And I think that's great that someone at, such a young age, that one's got 73, hasn't given up. And it basically shows that with this thing, it's all about consistency. I don't think there is a single person out there that can post videos on TikTok Shop promoting products that will consistently be going viral like that, right? So ticket and a bit of a guesswork at times, but honestly, it's not. You've got to keep going. You've got to be learning what works and just making gradual improvements, and just understand at the same time that you're not always going to go viral. Sometimes people will be sick of seeing a certain product, sick of hearing a certain hook, and sick of like just being sold to. So you've just got to keep getting creative and just integrate yourself in the TikTok Shop kind of ecosystem as much as possible. So you're just seeing these examples all the time. So that is the end of this analysis. Well done to this young man who's absolutely killed it. If you guys want to learn more about TikTok Shop, how to get started, how to earn your first £150 with no startup capital, we are going to be running a free training at the end of the month. So register for that in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe for more of these brand breakdowns, for more tutorials on TikTok Shop, because this thing, it ain't going away, right? And especially if you are a previous Amazon seller or an existing Amazon seller like we are, there's going to be ways that you can combine this to really explode your growth. So hope you've enjoyed this video. I shall see you next time. Peace.